Pardon me. I'm almost here. Almost. Hi, Sissy. Hi, Stellar. And here we are. Okay. All right. How we doing? Taking requests? Um, Not really. Not really. I'm just going to go ahead and jump in. This is one of those. It's an old life drawing, and it's a particular kind of pose that I got sick of somewhere along the line. We did. Um, yeah, you beat Stellar to the first comment. That was good. You were right on top of it. Uh, yeah. Stellar's always ready to give me a smiley face or something to alert me that I am in fact on the air, because I have no way of knowing. Sometimes, I mean, it looks the same to me when I'm talking away and I'm not on. So, or there have been such events. So yeah, here we are. This life drawing pose. Um, we did hundreds of them, and then I started drawing costumes and things like this, and this was the possibly because of that I started to dislike this pose. And the reason is I'm drawing World of Conan type costumes, and what kind of costume would she be wearing? Well, she'd be wearing a bikini of some description or another. So yeah, let's draw that. All right, what are we gonna do next? Right? Um, there's just doesn't leave me with a hell of a lot to do. So and plus, if you were anywhere, if this was in the round and you were anywhere else in the room, she's kind of all covered up. She's all um, so it's uh it's not only not very sensual, it's all bones. It's all wrists and elbows and knees and so occasionally I'll just go ahead and draw something else. So the little bikini costume thing is not very interesting. However, um, this is going to be one of those moments uh, when a dress, you put a full length dress on her, and and then hi Sharon, um, you start drawing something like a full length dress, and then you've got uh, a lot of stuff you can do. So I've got some pictures here with the girls wearing dresses, and that's what I'm going to use for my reference. There's apparently uh, a thing that's fashionable. I didn't get it for a while. It was just like, oh, there's this cool photography out there that's very boots and gauntlets. Also, yeah, we can do that. Um, yeah, so there's a thing that's popular. I didn't realize what it was. I was just aware that there was some uh, very neat looking, uh, kind of fairy tale ish photography out there, and I now realize uh, it's a direction that some photographers go for wedding photography. Is uh, get you in your wedding dress or something similar, and like go out into the forest or some park that looks very much like a forest, and and do some kind of things, with costumes, and you got people, sitting on the ground, or and maybe somebody's got some trained uh, bunnies or deer or something, that you can bring in props, lanterns, and you look like Cinderella or Snow White or uh, you know one of those fairy tale characters, or even spooky, and you look like Dracula's bride or something. Might go photograph you in front of some old Victorian house that's crumbling down or something. So that's a thing. That's a thing that people do, and it's pretty cool. And it puts a lot of interesting photography out into the world. So I've got images of girls in dresses sitting around in the woods, and that's fine because I don't know how to draw dresses sitting around in the woods. It's not something I draw a lot or see a lot. So it's nice to have some kind of visual reference. I mean, even if I'm not going to do anything that looks anything like a wedding dress ultimately, or maybe it does. Um, but a long dress, something. So yeah, when you're drawing dresses and things, suddenly you've got a whole lot more stuff to do. And if the body is just not that particularly interesting, I mean, not that this girl was not an attractive girl, she was, but um, I don't feel like this pose gives you much of anything interesting to look at. So I don't feel like I've lost anything by doing this. Uh, Somewhere over here, we've got somebody sitting down on the wall next to her. Somebody for whom I don't have a reference photo. That's a tree. Just now decided that's a tree. I just started scribbling a diagonal line because I felt like the picture needed a diagonal movement in that direction. But now it's a tree. So, which was fairly obvious because there was grass on the ground and some kind of wall or bridge or something. So that works. By the way, tell me if it works to have the picture this far away, because it it works a little better for me, to be honest. Let's see. Um, we need a bigger house. If you're wondering what to get me for my birthday, which is coming up, um, I need a bigger house. Could all chip in. Stellar bought herself a massage table, and it's not to get massages on, although there's a possibility that that will happen. But she's using it as a great big yoga prop in her room because it folds out and it sits lower than a regular table, but um, it's a table, and she can do the things that require getting down on the floor, but are when that's hard to do when you're big and that kind of thing. So um, it's good. So she's set it all up and showed me, and I looked at it and I was like, man, that's super cool. We need a bigger house because it's it really doesn't leave any room in her room. I mean, you can fold it up again when you're done and put it away, kind of, sort of. It's not completely away. Sharon says, I like it. Thank you. Meaning the yoga table, but I like the drawing too. Okay. Yeah, the yoga table is a good idea, a very good idea. We need that. Um, she needs that. I won't get much use out of it because I'm lazy. I'm so lazy that I mowed the lawn yesterday morning and I burned my lawnmower. I burned it right up. The motor just went and blue smoke came out of it and stunk up the entire neighborhood. And I said, darn. That's what I said. I said, darn. I just cost myself a brand new lawnmower. And then a friend of mine that I haven't seen in ages, because COVID, um, just texted me and said, "Hey, just wanted to know how you guys are doing." And I said, "I just burned up my lawnmower because, I'm pretty deep, and that's all I had on my mind." And so she was like, "Oh, I've got an extra one. Come over and get it." So I have a surplus lawnmower on indefinite loan from a friend of mine. So that crisis didn't last too long. Hers is better than mine, so that's good. Um, but I think it's they're electric, and electric mowers are not up to really powering your way through some tall grass if you've let your grass get tall. And these days, we're really, really growing a lawn, and so um, if you're not Johnny on the spot with it, it can get pretty dang tall. It can get away from you. And so, a gas mower, you just go out there and put it on the lowest setting and beat your way through the grass, and an electric mower is just not going to do that. You're just going to burn it up, and so my new approach, since I'm on a borrowed mower, put it on the highest setting, cut a little bit of grass, and then go out the next day and cut a little more, and go out the next day and cut a little more. It's not really how I want to spend my life, but what the hell am I doing anyway? So that's what you got to do. That's a limitation with what are those things? Cars, electric cars. You can go a fairly long distance with them now. That was the thing before. We've had electric cars since, God, I think since the 19 teens. Um, there have been some form of electric car, but it could go 20 feet or something. But it was better than that because there were electric cars in full production and distribution, 100 years ago. But they had extreme limitations, and they couldn't catch on. And now we've got uh, cars that will go very far if if it's just you zipping across town to do your shopping or something. But uh, is no good for hauling freight or something, really heavy jobs. They're no good for uh, construction equipment or anything that I'm aware of. I don't think anything like that is getting done. So that's electric motors. They're not good for the heavy duty jobs. And I should have known better and not try to force it through all this tall grass, but I didn't. I don't know if it's a male thing or a Calvinist thing or an impatience thing. Want to get everything done all at once. Do it. I realized he was falling off the edge of this wall, so I'm making the wall thicker. Missing some comments here. John says we have a couple of morgue tables in the backyard that might work for that. Morgue tables. So, are we talking? Are we talking big flat drawers with for putting paper in? Do that too. Fairly new electric mower. Henry Ford bought his wife a Detroit electric car. A Carvac or a Carback in the teens. Diesel electric trains run on electric motor, and the diesel generator only provides electricity. I did not. I did not know that. I did not know that. Yeah, that's a little bit of a cheat. Just go. Yeah, I've got an electric car. It's got a gas-powered engine providing the is generating the electricity, but it's an electric car. Anyhow, that's a limitation that I'm fairly sure they will overcome sometime. It's not like they've been on it since then. They kind of abandoned the whole concept, as near as I could tell, of electric cars. They abandoned that for 100 years or so, and they just got back to it recently. Okay, maybe 80 years, 75, 3 years. They abandoned it for like 3 years. Anyway, I was surprised when I learned that there were electric cars 100 years ago. All right, John. John's got an eye doctor appointment, so good luck with that. And sunglasses. Um, yeah, good luck with that. I had that the other day, and so far I'm liking my glasses. Um, I took them off just now because between looking here and looking there, I'm just not at the right focus. Um, but if I sit at the right distance to read or something, that seems to be working. Sissy, it's just you and me. We're all alone. All by myself. I want to live all by myself. Early on, I did several videos that I'm fairly sure no one at all has watched. Pretty sure nobody saw it at the time. I could have said anything. I may have. I may have said anything. I'm sure I said something. It's the sissy's bailing on me too. Okay, okay, fine. I'll just sit here. I'll just sit here alone. I'll talk to myself. I don't mind. I don't mind. Of course, if you hadn't told me, I wouldn't know. Victor, hi. Jolly good show, you say. Thank you. Um, yeah, so it's good to know there's somebody there. Um, so yeah, I feel like I just feel like she's more interesting. Even though pretty girl, she was stark naked, and she wasn't interesting, and that's just sad, but there it is. And so yeah, I've I've actually gone and separated all my drawings into different piles that are, the sort of thing I think I could make something out of, the sort of thing that's I don't think it's quite redeemable. Um, some of it I just went ahead and threw away. Um, it was practice. It wasn't something anybody wants. Um, and some of it's just this kind of thing is is for my usual sword and sorcery work, the kind of costumes I usually draw. It's just not going to do anything. It's just not going to do it. But maybe if you go some entirely other direction, maybe if you completely dress her up, um, you could do something else. And so I'm doing that. We had been drawing for several years before the first model ever suggested that I take a photograph. Um, it was just my base assumption was uh, that was so far off that as much as I might wish to have one, there's no way you'd even ask. I don't think I ever would have asked, but I was trying to get her to go back to some pose that she'd been doing earlier. She wasn't getting it, I was like, oh, but it was a really good pose. It was just something she was doing, like when she was on break. She was just sitting there, and then I, I don't know, she did something, and I was just like, oh, that's beautiful. I want to draw that, and then she didn't keep the posture, and I was trying to get her back to that, and she just said, next time that happens, take a photo. Um, and I was like, really? So anyway, said all that to say this goes far enough back that there's no photo. So I don't even, I get down here to where this hand is, and it's just kind of hardly even there, and I'm just gonna have to go find a photo of somebody else's hand and try to finish that. And her feet too. I was not real clear what's going on with her feet, so I'm putting shoes on her, and that'll just get around that. Um, but yeah, it's been interesting. The models. There are still plenty of models that say, "Oh, no, absolutely not. I don't want photos." Um, but I will ask. I will, and I'll tell them, this is totally up to you to say yes or no. Perfectly acceptable, but are you okay with photography? And some of them are just like, yeah, great. And I'll always say something like, I promise not to, put it on my website or something. Some of them go, put it on your website. I don't care. Go ahead. And then some are like really scared of the idea. Like, no, no, got to be careful. I don't usually, if I just met the girl, I won't ask her. If she's come back a couple of times, I'll ask. Or I get one of the ladies in the class to ask her because I'm a chicken. Sissy says, I'm back almost. Kaylee ran off with my SD card reader. Oh, yep. Highlights on my little goblin. I wasn't sure if he was even showing up. Uh, on my screen, it's kind of too far away, so I don't know how well this is showing up in the video. So if you feel like I should find a way to get my screen closer to the paper, um, that would make it a better show. Honestly, my face doesn't need to be on camera at all. I don't care if it never is again. Uh, I probably prefer it. But I just don't have a setup, just to hold the camera over here and just, see my hands drawing. I'm using the laptop for a camera, and that works better than my cell phone because my cell phone, um, it it's got some kind of auto zoom thing, and even when I turn off the auto zoom, it's actually not auto zoom, it's something else, face detection, or I don't know what it is, but it zooms in, zooms out, zooms in, zooms out, and it makes you nauseous to watch my videos, if I'm using a camera, because I'll be drawing, and it'll zoom into my hand, but then I'll glance at the screen and it'll zoom to my face, and then, or my hand will move and it's nauseating because it's just in and out and in and out. And it never stops. Yeah, yeah. So what was that other thing I was going to say? I was going to say another thing. So that may be a thing. We'll figure that out. Stellar went back to the gym starting yesterday. Um, we have not gone to the gym since quarantine started. At first, we couldn't. Then we could, and we just didn't want to, and um, but she's swimming, and she went back for early morning swimming. So, 5 in the morning, we're down there at the gym, and that seems to have worked okay. So the thing was, um, we weren't sure it was going to work. She was a little freaked out by the whole idea. It took this long to work herself up to it, uh, and she was like, I might just come running back and say, no, I can't do it. So I just went ahead and the first time, just to see if it was going to work, I just went ahead and stayed in the car because I'm not going to go. I'm not going in. But so I was out there sitting in the car in the dark, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I look across the parking lot, and there's a car, an SUV, with some really nice lettering on the window. Somebody's heading off to college, and it says something like, um, um, okay, I'm gonna get Sissy saying something about the video, but um, there was some hand painted lettering that was just super nice, really professionally done. And I used to be a sign painter, and so I just focus on things like that. And Sissy says, "Is anyone else having a hard time with this video? I'm trying to figure out if it's messing up my end or on his. Um, it's messing up. Well, I'm terribly sorry. Let me see. My connection says that it's good. Um, okay, my signal's not great, and otherwise, I don't know. Is it stuttering? Is it pixelated? Am I just too damn ugly, or what's the deal? Should I stop? It's been 40 minutes. I should probably stop anyway. Um, I saw this lettering on this car, and I mean, it was nice, like one shot signing enamels, professional old school lettering, and I could tell that from where I was, and that really piques my curiosity because nobody uses one shot anymore. And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go have a look at that. And I was just about to get out of the car and go have a look at that, and I realized, under the best of circumstances, You don't walk up to somebody's car and stare at the window. And I was like, I've been in quarantine too long. I'm losing my human because I know better than stuff like that. I was about to go like lurching up to somebody's car like a troll and stare at the lettering on the window. Pretty. And I don't know if this goes on another 5 years. Maybe I won't have the discretion to know that that was an inappropriate thing to do, and I'll just like walk up to people's cars and go, "It's pretty. I'm gonna lick your car." So there I am. I'm turning into a goblin. That's what it is. And I'm a quarantine goblin. And it's been 40 minutes in the video stuttering, and we might as well stop. So we'll stop. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for leaving. Thank you for coming back. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.